On Global TV News Express, Tinubu swears in Kekere Ekun as Nigeria's acting Chief Justice. Tinubu's wife unveils an empowerment scheme for petty traders. In business, federal government unveils CNG conversion incentive in Ibadan. On the foreign scene, Afghan women faces and voices banned in public on the new Taliban law. And in sport, 11 FASU games, Unilag LASU ready to host Africa in grand style. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Anthony Momodu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat. The Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has called on politicians to emulate the exemplary life of late Michael Okpara. The governor made the call at the Michael Okpara Leadership Lecture and Award 2024 in Abuja. The governor advised public office holders to live above board and work for the benefit of the people. Kikelomo Okere has details.
Almost 60 years since Michael Okpara left the political stage, his shoes remains big for most politicians to wear as a result of his political philosophy, which encapsulates in pragmatic socialism. The governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, who spoke on the topic Service Above Self, Lessons from the Leadership Philosophy of Dr. Michael Okpara, noted that Okpara was able to make the Eastern region's economy the fastest growing one in Africa because of the leadership model. According to him, the inordinate quest for wealth and lack of discipline, among others, are responsible for the unbridled corruption in Nigeria's system.
Again, emphasized the need for us to render selfless service to the people of the state and not to be driven by the acquisition of wealth. Because, as I speak, nobody can come out openly to accuse me of corruption. My close aides, and I challenge anybody, my close aides who engaged in untoward activities never knew how fast they were thrown out of government.
He also provided an update on the ongoing rehabilitation of the Egbema power plant, announcing that the project is expected to be completed and commissioned in the first quarter of 2025. The governor highlighted the importance of the project in providing 24 hours electricity across all areas of Imo State.
Just like the great Okpara, I also realized that having stabilized the critical infrastructure, especially roads, and knowing that our health and the education sectors were under control and running smoothly, I decided to turn my attention to the total industrialization of the state. Realizing that this could never be feasible without a regular power supply, the government of Imo State has entered into a partnership agreement, taking out advantage of the latest alteration of our constitution, removing power from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent legislative list. We have now, working with our technical and financial partners, created a platform to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity to the 27 local government areas of the state.
In his remark at the occasion, Cross River State Governor Senator Bassey Otu described Okpara as his hero because of the monumental development he achieved in the former Eastern region. According to him, most of the agricultural policies being implemented by his administration in Cross River State were derived from the legacy of Okpara.
And I urge you to transmute the principles of community, faith, and sacrifice, which characterize the destiny of our hero, who lived and died with a sterling emblem of unblemished integrity and credibility.
The chairman of the occasion and the former president of the Senate, Senator Ayim Pius Ayim, praised the organizers for keeping the memory of the late premier alive. He eulogized Governor Hope Uzodinma for his thought-provoking lecture and urged Nigerians to imbibe the recommendations from the lecture.
I want to state, and very confidently, that no Nigerian citizen east of the Niger has impacted Eastern Nigeria positively like Mwai Okpara. Said that the magic that guaranteed the progress recorded under Dr. Okpara's administration was purposeful and visionary leadership.
The former First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dame Patience Jonathan, says the lecture is aimed at promoting good governance and excellence in service delivery.
Amake's Okpara legacies are too numerous to mention, but I urge you to hold firm to those legacies for the progress of the country in general.
The highlight of the event was the presentation of awards to notable Nigerians, of which the premier grand prize, Gold Plaque category award by the organizers, was given to Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, among others. Kike Lomo Okere. Almost 60 years since Michael
Kudarata Kekere Ekun as the 23rd Chief Justice of Nigeria, pending her confirmation by the Senate. Kekere Ekun took the oath of office and signed the oath register at 11:40 a.m. at the Council Chamber of the State House, Abuja, on Friday. She succeeds Ariwola, who assumed office in June 27, 2022, and bowed out on Thursday upon attaining the mandatory retirement age of 70 years. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Yusuf, has reiterated the commitment of President Bola Tinubu's administration to the completion of all abandoned and inherited projects in the citizens' interest. Yusuf spoke during an inspection tour of the Ogbese multi-purpose dam along the Ikere-Ekiti Ekiti Road in Ekiti State, where construction began in 2009, but stalled owing to lack of funds. The minister, who said Tinubu had approved funds for the completion of the project targeted at providing water, generating hydropower, and serving irrigation purposes, assured that the job would be completed soon. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has unveiled an empowerment initiative aimed at targeting 1,000 women petty traders in Delta State. According to her, the move is part of present administration's continued commitment to drive economic growth towards a better life for Nigerian families. Addressing the beneficiaries at the unveiling of the Renewed Hope initiative in Asaba, Delta State, Mrs. Tinubu said that the initiative was to boost small and medium enterprises, especially the petty traders who form the backbone of the nation's local economies. The Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency has warned the public regarding the rising water levels of the River Niger as of August 22, 2024. This is to reports from the Niger Basin Authority of Niamey, Niger Republic, indicating that upstream activities in Niger and Mali have contributed to the situation. A statement by the Director General of the agency, Omar Mohammed, noted that flood waters from the two countries are expected to move gradually into Nigeria through Kebbi State. Further noting that the dam operators at Kanji and Jaba on the River Niger have been informed and are fully prepared to manage the situation. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund has acknowledged receipt of 50 billion naira from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. In a statement by the fund's head of corporate communications, Oseyemi Olutoyi, noted that the release followed the directive of President Bola Tinubu in his speech on August 4, 2024, directing the EFCC to transfer the funds to the Nigerian Education Loan Fund to further boost the student loan program. The Nigerian Medical Association has called on the Cross River State government to urgently put surveillance mechanism against mpox amidst increased vulnerability. The public relations officer of the Doctors Association, Dr. Okam Idadi, made the call in an interview in Calabar, Cross River State Capital. The Cross River chapter of the association therefore warned that the state is more vulnerable than others. The federal government says it has set up at least 40 aging desks, basically meant to care of senior citizens in 40 different ministries, departments, and agencies, stating that one individual agency or ministry cannot handle issues related to aging. The Director General of the National Senior Citizen Center, Dr. Imam Omokaro, disclosed this in Abuja during an inaugural training program for Quality Assurance Assessors Certification in the Gentrack Social Center Skills Sector. Although the government did not list the ministries, departments, and agencies that have been in the session, it, however, warned against discrimination and stigmatization of older persons in various sectors, noting that old age should be seen as a beautiful thing to cherish and not to despise. The lawmakers representing Delta Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly, Senator Ide Dafione, has called on the federal and Delta state government to, without further delay, commence the process of rebuilding and resettling the displaced indigents of the devastated Okwama community of Ugeli South local government area in their ancestral home. This is as he stated that civilians arrested in connection to the killings of soldiers in the community must be respected and not subjected to any form of abuse. He also appealed to international donor agencies to come to the aid of the troubled Okwama people, noting that the situation at Okwama is an international humanitarian crisis that needs global efforts to rebuild and resettle the people. You're watching the News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When News Express returns, Nigeria gears up for 2025 Under-19 Cricket World Cup qualifiers. Details of these and more after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from the break. This is Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of News Express. Thank you for staying with us. In business, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Ibom Power Company in Akwa Ibom State, Mayen Etukudo, has stated that the prolonged power outage in the state is due to lack of gas supply and the disconnection of the Aba-Itu transmission line. The state has had a prolonged power outage which has lasted for more than 10 days now, leading to the folding up of many small-scale businesses in the state. Addressing newsmen in the office in Uyo, Etukudo attributed the power outage in the state to the lack of gas supply to Ibom Power Company, and he explained that whenever there is a lack of gas supply, Akwa Ibom receives power from the national grid only through the Aba-Itu transmission line, which he noted had become old and snaps occasionally. The federal government unveiled the Conversion Incentive Program for the compressed natural gas in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State. The initiative is designed to mitigate the impact of fuel subsidy removal and promote a safer, cleaner, and more reliable transportation future for Nigerians. The Chief Executive Officer and the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, Michael Oluwagbemi, stated that the initiative aims to fulfill one of the key objectives of President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. Oluwagbemi emphasized the importance of Nigerians fully embracing the initiative, noting that the adoption of CNG could herald a revolution in the country. The federal government, through the Rural Electrification Agency, has installed power plants in 6 federal universities as part of efforts to provide reliable power to critical sectors of society. This was as the agency stated that it had made significant strides in advancing Nigeria's electrification projects. This is according to the recent briefing provided by the agency's Managing Director, Abba Abubakar Aliyu, to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu. On the foreign scene, the Disaster Management and Relief Ministry in Bangladesh says at least 13 people have been killed and 4.5 million affected by the floods triggered by heavy rains. The South Asian nation of 170 million people, crisscrossed by hundreds of rivers, has seen frequent floods in recent decades. The Global Climate Risk Index says Bangladesh is among the countries most vulnerable to disasters and climate change. The Philippines urged its mariners to avoid the Red Sea as Yemen-based Houthi rebels kept up their deadly missile and drone attacks on merchant shipping in the vital waterway. The ministry said Filipino seafarers should exercise prudent judgment as well as their right to refuse to sail through the risky area. The warning came a day after 23 Filipino and 2 Russian crew members were rescued from a Greek-flagged oil tanker that was hit by several projectiles off the rebel-held Yemeni port of Hodeidah. Lucara Diamond Corporation, a Canadian diamond mining company with a producing mine and exploration licenses in Botswana, says a massive 2,492 carat diamond, which is said to be the second largest in the world, has been discovered in Botswana. The company stated that diamond was discovered in the Karowe diamond mine in northeastern Botswana using X-ray detection technology. Lucara Diamond said in a statement that the corporation did not provide the estimate of the value of the find in terms of carats. The stone is second only to the 3,106 carat Cullinan diamond discovered in South Africa in 1905. The Taliban authorities in Afghanistan have introduced a set of rules governing everyday lifestyle based on their strict interpretation of the Islamic law. The Justice Ministry announced on its website that the 35-article law had been approved by the Taliban supreme leader, the reclusive Hibatullah Akhundzada. Range of prohibitions and the guidelines for social interactions, private lives, and style of dress have now been laid out in the law. The law stipulates, in particular, that Muslim women are obliged to cover their faces and bodies around men who are not mahrams, typically a husband, brother, father, son, or grandfather, uncle, or under Islam, and non-Muslim women. And jumping into the world of sports, Nigeria's women's under-19 cricket team, otherwise known as the Junior Female Yellow Greens, are having an extended time to prepare for their upcoming 2025 under-19 T20 World Cup qualifiers, following the rearrangement of the tournament in Kigali, Rwanda. The tournament is the second edition and will be played from January 8 to February 2nd, 2025 in Malaysia, featuring 16 teams. Nigeria were initially built to play in a 2-group tournament of 7 teams each, but the late inclusion of Zimbabwe resulted in the withdrawal of the top 4 sides from the series to form another division. The University of Lagos, in collaboration with the Lagos State University, has reiterated its readiness to host the 11th Federation of African University Sports FASU Games in grand style, tagged Lagos 2024. This assurance was echoed during the media briefing to update the public on the state of preparedness and expectations for the Continental Games, which will take place from the 20th to the 29th of September. This marks the second time Nigeria will host the FASU Games, 20 years after Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, hosted the event in 2009. and 4. As we end Global TV News Express, let's take a look at our top stories. Tinubu swears in Kekere Okun as the Nigeria's acting Chief Justice. Tinubu's wife unveils empowerment scheme for Delta petty traders. Business, federal government unveils CNG conversion incentive in Ibadan. On the foreign scene, Afghan women's faces banned in public under new Taliban law. And in sports, 11th FASU Games, Unilag, LASU ready to host Africa in grand style. That's it on News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are DSTV, channel 365, and StarTimes, channel 276, and free-to-air on Nikonsat and its parameters showing on your screen. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and all the handles now showing on your screen. I am Anthony Momodu. Thanks for watching.